Today we are discussing the 7 to 8 functional movement screen, which assesses flexibility, balance, mobility, and stability of movements. Most of the movements can be performed by the target population of the second trimester pregnancy, with the exception of modifying the last two assessments. All assessments are graded by the proper mechanics and maintenance of posture. The hurdle step movement requires proper coordination and stability between the hips and torso, and single leg stance stability that assesses bilateral functional mobility and stability of the hips, knees, and ankles. The next is the inline lunge test that places the body in a position that focuses on movement simulated during rotational deceleration and lateral body positions. This test assesses the shoulder, torso, hip, ankle mobility, stability of the quadriceps, and flexibility of the knee. Next is the deep squat test challenge that challenges the total body mechanics that is used to assess bilateral, symmetrical, and functional mobility of the hips, knees, and ankles. The straight pole held overhead assesses bilateral symmetrical mobility of the shoulders as well as the thoracic spine. Notice the spine, deep squat, and knee flexion between the child and the adult. Next is the shoulder mobility test, which assesses bilateral shoulder range of motion, combining internal rotation and adduction and internal rotation of the external rotation and abduction that displays scapular mobility and thoracic spine of the extension. The active leg straight test raises the leg of the hamstring and gastrocsoleus flexibility with a stable pelvis and active extension of the opposite leg that requires functional hamstring flexibility and demonstrates adequate hip mobility of the opposite leg as well as the lower abdominal stability. The trunk stability push-up test, stabilization of the spine in the anterior and posterior plane. With this trunk stability in the sagittal plane while motion is performed, the stabilizers transfer force to the upper extremities and lower extremities and vice versa. Having poor coordination and poor strength in this can have poor functional performance and injury. Second trimester clients can perform this with moderate risks to the lower back, and individual discretion is advised. The rotary stability is a complex movement requiring proper upper and lower coordination during the same side extension. Elbow and knee touch during flexion, and during extension, this stresses the body to balance. A second trimester client should be able to perform this test but can also risk falling, and individual discretion is advised. Spinal flexion clearing test. This last test can also be completed by second trimester clients with no risk as long as no pressure is on the stomach. The spinal flexion can be cleared by first assuming the quadricep position, then rocking back and forth and touching the buttocks to the heels and to the chest and to the thighs. The hands should remain in the front of the body, reaching out as far as possible. Thank you.